And so I guess then that you've taught yourself to sing, have you?
Yes.
But you sang at school. You sang in a choir.
Well, I was in a Catholic school in grade school. Everyone, exactly.
Yeah.
Whether you could sing or not, the nuns had you sing. But the only musical training I had was about a year and a half of clarinet playing. We were a military family, and so from school to school, it was inconsistent, the kinds of electives you could take. So I did do the clarinet for a while, but I never took a singing lesson. All I ever did, and I still haven't, all I ever did was listen really well, and I would sing along with records. I was very shy about my voice. I didn't think I could sing. I had a couple of instances growing up where people made fun, and it was like, okay, well, then I really can't. But when no one was home, or I was in the shower, or I was driving my car, I would sing at the top of my lungs, and I would sing this kind of music. And then my parents would hear me singing in the bathroom, in the shower. You need to do something with your voice. Oh, no, that's not practical. Oh, no, that's not practical. So I'm really self-taught. And part of it is just getting out there and doing it. I've always told people that my training ground was doing gigs. I started doing gigs before I could really sing well. And 21 years later, now I think I've done pretty well.
That's such a risk, though. The band that were playing for you, did you handpick them, or did you just play with any session players?
It was both.
Sing with any.
At the very beginning, I met. I actually was mentored by a man named George Prado, who played at one of the grimiest, wildest party places down on the San Antonio Riverwalk. They played jazz, but they didn't have a singer like me, and it was a really casual place. And I would go in dressed in a suit, a Givenchy suit from work or whatever, because I worked downtown. And I completely stood out, first of all. And then I got to be friends with them, and then they let me sit in one night and sing Mac the Knife, which has since become my signature tune. But, not my signature tune, my good luck charm, I do it. But they were just they were a band, they weren't my band. But I had an agreement that after I did my first paying gig with these guys, they let me sub for the singer one night, and they offered me $50. And I said, okay. And I went and did the gig, and then I said, forget the money. I want you to teach me how to get in this business. And so George introduced me to musicians. He made lists for me, and I just started experimenting. And to this day, I still put together bands of different musicians, but it's come down to a core of about 4 or 5 that are my best, and they're on this album with me.
How wonderful! I want to dip in and dip out.
Okay.
So I want to play track 14 on this, and that's My Desire. Is that a good choice?
Oh yes, it's a very romantic song, and you may remember Frankie Lane, the singer.
Yes, definitely.
This was his first big hit in the 40s, and I don't think many people have recorded it, and it's gone over well. People like it.
One night with you in our own rendezvous, and reminisce with you. That's my desire, to meet where gypsies play, down in that dim cafe, and dance till break of day. That's my desire. We'll sip a little glass of wine. I'll gaze into your eyes divine. I'll feel the warmth of your lips burning on mine. To hear you.
This is the stunning voice of Ken Slavin, off an album called I'll Take Romance.
Yes.
Time to go.
This is the title track? No?
The one you played at the beginning, I'll Take Romance,
Sherry,
yes.
I love you so. You're my desire.
Oh, this is just... Will you leave this album with us?
Oh, of course I will.
This is so perfect for us.
I would love it. And I have another one for you as well that I brought along, the earlier one that I did, and I'll leave that behind for you too.
I know people listening are just going to want to see you performing in London. Are there any dates that you have lined up?
There's talk now of tentative dates in 2012. That was the purpose of this trip. Roy Langley discovered me on YouTube a year ago, and we started corresponding, and he invited me over because he made some entrees for me. The two clubs, one club in particular has said yes, they want me back next year, and it's Boysdale at Canary Wharf. And we're also visiting with the people at Ronnie Scott's.
Oh, fantastic.
In fact, we're going there tonight after the show. And we're looking at multiple venues and ideas, and we've been brainstorming with people in the industry here and meeting possible agents or management that could help me over here, because I've not performed in London before. And, coming a long way from Texas, this was meant to be an exploratory trip, and I have been treated so beautifully and met so many nice people. So I'm hopeful I'll be able to report to you that we'll have a week or two of engagements coming up in the new year. It would
be fantastic. I'm trying to think of all the right venues, because Ronnie Scott's would be a natural, I would have thought. There's the 100 Club as well. I don't know if you've heard about that.
No, I haven't heard of that one.
And I don't know if the 606 is still there, but there are a handful of clubs that it would just be perfect for you to perform.
Well, I would love to do that, and I hope that when I come back and make my London debut as a singer, I hope you'll come to the show.
I'd love you to come back on the show, actually. How long are you over here for?
I'm here. I'm leaving, unfortunately, pretty quickly. I'm leaving Friday afternoon, but I'm already making plans for coming back. I hope that this gels. I mean, we have to go back and, talk with these people and finalize things, but I'm very hopeful I'll be back within the next few months.
And is your base now in New York?
No, I'm still based in San Antonio. That's what makes this so amazing. It's only in the 21st century, with the technology we have now, could a man in London who's connected to the music industry find me because he was surfing on YouTube. It's an amazing thing, and at first I didn't quite know what to think, but no, I'm not based in New York. I lived there at one time, but that was many years ago.
And I mean, your style, this style of singing and music is so in vogue now. Do you know what I mean? It is the perfect. It is. Everyone has gone back in nostalgically to the romance and jazz and jazz clubs and everything. It is a perfect time for you to be in London.
I agree, and as I've discovered, I mean, apparently it is very hot here, and hot in terms of the music, not in terms of the climate.
Unfortunately, you've missed our mini heat wave.
But I came in on Sunday and the weather was gorgeous the first couple of days. But no, it definitely is riding a wave right now. But what I pride myself on, Joanne, is that I'm not the kind of artist that's trying to ride a wave. This is in my soul. I've been doing it for 21 years. I want to do it for another 21 years if I can, and put my own stamp on timeless music. And just so your listeners know, I also can swing. We do some pretty great upbeat stuff, and I work with some really fine musicians.
There's a band that we used to have as our house band here, but they are so busy now, called the Jive Aces. I don't know if you've heard of them. I
have heard of them, and in fact, a couple of my friends in San Antonio said, you've got to go see the Jive Aces.
Well, they used to perform here every single Wednesday, and then they went all over. They still come back from time to time, but they work all over the world, basically. But they would be a natural place for you to perform, with them, because they're also very generous to
wonderful.
People coming in,
which is not easy. You can't say that about all musicians.
They are absolutely amazing. They used to just feed me with acts. They would bring in people all the time. They brought who's Louis Prima's wife.
Keely Smith.
Keely Smith. They brought Keely Smith.
She's one of my idols. I love her.
Yes, well, they brought Keely Smith.
Really? They brought her over here and did some shows?
She came in
here in the studio?
Yeah, she's sitting where you were.
Oh, you must have loved it.
Well, yes, but she was a devil because she hates being interviewed, and she loved being in the studio, and she loves being with them. But she didn't want to, when I was asking her questions, she just said, no, it's their time. I just want to sit here and enjoy it.
Oh, wow.
And she's quite cheeky. She's quite, she knows her mind. But in the end, we got her to sing, and she sang.
Great.
She
Which
sang
song
with them
did
in
she
this
sing?
studio.
Do you remember?
Do you know? I think it was Stormy Monday. I think it was
probably
Stormy Monday.
That's a great tune.
But they're people you should look up. Well,
I will, and may I tell them that you told me I should?
Please do, because they were part of this whole show when we kicked off.
I think that's fantastic, and I'm so glad to hear that, because they were highly recommended to me, and several of my jazz musician friends have been Facebooking me as they've discovered that I'm here in London, and they're saying you have to see the Jive Aces, but I don't even know if they're performing in town right now.
Well, I will put in a word as well with them, and maybe we could get them in with you. That would be fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I would love it. I
want to play out with one more track. Where can people get hold of the album, Ken?
They can order it through my website, which is kenslavin.com, SLAVIN.com, or they can go directly to Apple iTunes and they can download it there, or to Spotify, or Rhapsody, or Napster. I'm all over the net. I'm not in a lot of stores, but I'm all over the net.
I love your style. I love your voice.
Thank you.
Love the way you look, and I think you're gonna do really well in London. What do I know? But I would have thought so.
No, well, apparently, I think you apparently know quite a bit, and I'll tell you, I've been here twice. I love London. If there were a way to come over here and work on a regular basis, I would be here tomorrow.
Ken Slavin, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanne. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate your having me on.
By the fire, while the breeze on high sang a lullaby, you'd be all that I could desire. Under stars cooled by the winter, under an August moon burning above, you'd be so nice, you'd be paradise to come home to and love. You'd be so nice to come home to, you'd be so nice by the fire, while the breeze up on high sang a lullaby. You'd be all that I could desire, under stars cooled by the winter, or under an August moon that's burning above. You'd be so nice, you'd be paradise to come home to and love. Under stars cool by the winter, or under an August moon that's burning above, you'd be so very nice, and you'd be paradise to come home to and love. You'd be so nice to come home to, my dear, and love.
London's news headlines at 10:30. I'm Valley Fontaine.